to Talk SPED. Today, I'm very excited to share a global perspective about a friend's journey during the COVID time. As we all know, COVID brought a lot of challenges for all of us, and also we found certain silver linings or ways to help the community. So in my conversation today, you will hear from a good friend of mine, Grazia, who is also a veteran professor of linguistics at the University of Padua in Italy. Grazia has written several papers and books in linguistics and teaching of learning and communication. She will share some of her challenges and how she creatively used this time to reach out to the community. Welcome to Talk SPED, Grazia, and tell us a little bit more about your teaching and your areas of interest.
Hi, Namita. Thanks very much. Thanks for inviting me to converse at Talk SPED. My research background is acoustics. I've a PhD in acoustics, and my research has focused on foreign accent. And particularly, I've been interested in looking at the way in which people with an accent may affect the intelligibility in communication, and their accent may cause prejudice, stereotypes, and as I said, affect communication. So
you're right. Communication does bring a very added layer of challenge as we go through this virtual media of communication during COVID. And I'm sure this was not easy for you, as I've heard from several other teachers and professors. So would you mind sharing some of your initial challenges and how did you overcome that?
When COVID started, we were all thrown in very rapidly into the Zoom world, and we had to learn to teach online. We were not prepared for that, especially people like me. We are old school. We're not used to being video recorded or photographed and put ourselves online. And so that wasn't easy. And especially at the beginning, well, this teaching online, with the students, that you ask them to turn on their camera, but they keep it off. And so you end up talking to these black boxes. You don't know what the students are doing when you're teaching. Are they listening to you? Are they doing their own business? And especially, you don't get any feedback from them. So it's hard to know what parts of what you're saying are interesting, what are not interesting. So that was very challenging. Then later on, like today, universities have switched to this hybrid dual mode of communication, of teaching, in which you have people in front of you in the class, and some people are following you online. And that makes it even more difficult because you don't really know which group of students to pay attention to, whether to pay attention to the students online or to the students that are in the classroom. And you end up following the students in classroom more, but then you disregard a little bit the students that are online. So very challenging.
Right. I totally can understand that difficulty or the challenge in communication with this dual system. And also, just in general, like we have some of our, many of our instruction has become online, even fitness classes. So I take some of those. I have my teachers who are working so hard, expecting that the students are doing the same, but they're just seeing black boxes. So they're checking in with us, how does your voice sound? You're not enough out of breath. So she's like trying to figure out and gauge the pace of her class. So I can totally, I've faced it myself being a student at that end, that, if you're not giving feedback and turning our cameras on, how difficult it is for an instructor to pace her lesson and teaching. So this has definitely been a very challenging and ongoing learning for both the ends, the students and the
preparatory work. Like if you're teaching a pronunciation course, you need to have the interaction of students with students. But if they don't interact, what do? You cannot teach to people that don't respond. But then in the end, you decide, you make a choice of respecting the people that don't want to interact, and you end up interacting just with the people that do want to interact.
You're right. We respect the social emotional health, which has been another added layer, along with the communication piece, as an instructor, as a teacher, to be aware of, people have challenges, and we've heard a lot about that also from the community. So that's very critical to keep in mind. So tell us, these are all challenges. Were there any silver linings and turning points for you as you adapted to COVID?
So I've talked about my struggles with the system of online teaching. And then over the summer, I was invited to create a course online for a site that's called the Speaking Lab. And this is a pronunciation course that I'm teaching online. And after the initial, fear, it was very exciting. And the idea that I can sort of use all of my knowledge to help people from all over the world is very exciting. So I can reach a global audience, teach them how to improve their accent, improve their communication. That's really, I think, challenging, but also very exciting, very important. So I'm happy I'm doing that. And I'm actually encouraging anyone who wants to do it to actually do the same.
Yes, I totally agree. And we have this in common, a passion to reach across borders and interact with everybody. And I've been fortunate to do this through TalkSped, and I'm glad that you have also found an area of interest of reaching to a global community through your online teaching. So that is so exciting, and I wish you all the best. And this kind of interaction brings a global energy, a synergy of efforts which connects us all across. So this is definitely still the most exciting thing about education, where we did not use a lot of virtual mode of learning and teaching. So I'm super excited to have more of such interactions and talk with everybody. So in our audience today, if anybody wants to reach out to Grazia and take that effort to improve the communication skills, check out the Speaking Lab, and I will be putting information on my website also to connect and reach out. Thank you for your time, Grazia.
Thank you, Namita. Thanks very much.